I mean, when you talk about the integrity of a musician, the integrity of an artist, somebody that deals with the arts, um, pretty much my advice would be, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. When I was in Chicago, man, I was coming up with different cats, man. That was that was coming up pretty strong, man. I look back, I was rolling one of my boys, Jabari, that played the sax, and I had my man Ryan, and Marquise Hill and Michael. And these were just some of the cats I was kind of running with, when I was coming up on just playing instruments and being exposed to jazz and music. You had other cats that was a little step ahead of us, Corey Wilkes and Greg Ward, Maurice Brown and Kevin Apers, and Ernest Dawkins, and you had Von Freeman, just pretty much a whole gang of cats that was ahead of us that we could look up to, you know what I'm saying? And basically, as far as the integrity of musician, man, I would say don't lie to yourself. I had the opportunity to meet Wynton Marsalis, and we was sitting down in a hotel, and pretty much he just was letting I asked him a particular question away from everybody. He had told me, you don't want to lie to yourself. And what happens is, you got cats that come up in a intellectual, and they approach the music with intellect. And this intellect actually can stop them from dealing with the music in a natural sense. And so what happens is you develop a whole class, people that do this and that's following this structure. What it is, you have a whole class of people that consider themselves to be artists or musicians, when in fact they're not. They actually are simulating a musician. They're simulating an artist. They're just replicating something that they practiced or something that they were shown or taught. And repeating something that you're taught is great, but there's a principle that you're supposed to draw out of that, so then you can turn around and produce new ideas based off that principle in without barriers. You understand? If I was to teach you how to do an arpeggio, you understand, and what are the different building blocks that's structured around that, okay, then you'll be able to do it. But at some point, I want you, as you begin to practice that, if you let go of that, you begin to start coming up with different ideas based off of that principle I taught you, and it will create a whole new thing, within your music. And so I would say, not lying to oneself, learning to be honest. If you don't know something, you don't know it. It doesn't mean that you'll never know it, but accept what you don't know, and accept that you don't know in the moment that you don't know it, because then that opens you up to be filled, to then know. But if you're the type of person where you know it all, you understand, then how can you ever receive to be able to know anything? You understand? You think that you know, but then when somebody really stepping in the truth of what this music is about and how it is to express it, they're going to show you that you really don't know. And I see this all the time, man, when I'm at different jam sessions and different arenas where you have to really be dealing with this music truly. You got cats as teachers, man, that cannot stand in a position where they are dealing with the unknown in a creative, spontaneous situation. And that's because your whole life you've been learning to simulate, but you have not learned to really truly deal with that art form, to really learn to listen, to calm your mind and express that language. You're just dealing with a pattern that you studied, and you're trying to approach that in situations that you approach. And that only takes you so far. You can fake that when you're dealing with a bunch of cats that's faking, but when you're dealing with cats that's approaching this music in a real sense, you're going to be confronted on your hypocriticalness, your phoniness, your ingenuineness, if that's even a word. So, I would say, as far as when it comes to the integrity of a musician, be honest. And then that's when you open yourself up to be able to learn. Because music is about honesty. People can tell when something don't sound right, when it don't feel right. So you got to approach it honestly. Even if that honest emotion is anger. Approach it honestly. You see what I'm saying? I'm out.